Okay, you guys, so I'm super excited. So I have decided that I wanted to do some home decor using Dollar Tree supplies. This is caulk that I got from, it might have been on their automotive aisle or wherever you find like glue and light fixtures and stuff like that. They have a building supply section. I also thought I was going to be able to sit outside and do this, and it was windy, a storm was coming. Of course, I didn't figure that out until later on, but look at these beautiful pillar vases that I got. That's a pack of gloves because you should not be using building materials, although they may not be toxic, I don't know, but if you know, they may have irritants for your hands. Here's some additional caulking that I got called Dry Dex. It looks pink when you use it. This was almost dried out, so I dug out as much as I could. I was trying not to show my face because that particular day I was looking a hot mess express, and so I was like, let's just show the project and not mama's face. So anyway, here I am showing you again the products to pick up from your local Dollar Tree. They should be easy to find, and they are cheaper than getting, now that Dry Dex, I think I might have gotten that from Lowe's or Walmart. Don't quote me on that, but Dollar Tree has a similar item. Now here are the more round fishbowl type looking glass dishes that we're going to be using. And I love these. They are so beautiful. I mean, you all have probably already been all over it, but Dollar Tree's glassware is bae. It is just so gorgeous. And so I have tons of more projects coming and that's going to be using their glassware, but these are just my first ones. So I took the price tags off. I actually took them inside off camera, ran them under hot water. They came off super easy. I also cleaned them with alcohol, so you'll see me getting ready to do that here. I don't even know the benefit of using alcohol, but apparently it gets off all the fingerprints and cleans everything, which was kind of hard to do because I kept touching everything. But anyway, get the alcohol from Dollar Tree as well. Clean your glass before you paint it, according to the pros and the experts, which I'm not. I'm just a fellow crafter and DIYer. I don't know if you can tell or not. You probably will be able to in a little bit, but again, it started to get really windy. Then it started to rain. The foam was falling down. The paper towels are blowing all over the place. So here I am. Again, just cleaning everything off to get the fingerprints off, dust and everything else, because when these things are in the store, of course, everyone's touching them and everything else. So I'm not going to belabor that point. Of course, you want to protect your work surface. I'm sitting outside at our like our picnic table, which is wrought iron. So of course I didn't want to get any of these supplies all over it because I wasn't sure how easy it would be for it to wipe off, which I was able to wipe off some of the caulking that I got on the table with just some warm water, only because it was still wet. Now if I'd have let it dry, it probably would have been a little bit harder to get off. So again, use your gloves, and I'm just going to start smearing and smattering it all around the glasses. You're going to notice when I go to open that pink container, you probably can't see my face, but I was like, oh crap, it's all dried up. So anyway, as you're putting on your gloves, you'll see how I go about applying the caulk material to include the material in the tube. I apologize for any time I've gotten out of range, only because sometimes I'm not paying attention when I'm looking at the item and looking at the camera. So that just tends to happen. Just a quick tip when you're putting on the caulking material is to make sure you leave it rough and with texture. And the reason I say that is because you want it to have, that's if you're going for a raised effect. Now, if you're going for something smooth, then of course, get it as smooth as you possibly can, which may be kind of hard when you're using your fingers and gloves that are rumpled up in that way. However, my goal is to leave it with a rough feeling. I want it to have a textured feeling. I want it to have like a raised feel. I want it to have peaks and ridges and things like that. So consider that as you're smearing and smoothing everything on. I also am going to make sure, even at the end you'll see me do it as well, that I want to cover up. See how there's some clear spots on there? I don't want glass showing through the ball part or the ball. However, I do want the bottom glass, like where it sits, the foot of it, I want the bottom, very flat bottom, to be glass, because one, I want it to be to have some illumination when you go to put a candle or a luminary light or whatever you put in here, even if it's a battery operated candle. So here I'm just, and plus it'll spin around easy on its bottom when it doesn't have anything on it. Mine is getting stuck to the paper towel. But you'll see me cleaning it off again with alcohol. But I did notice that once some of that caulking material, if it did dry on the bottom, it was super easy to get off the glass. So get it off while it's still wet. I'm just scraping it along the bottom. But also, even though it was a little messy, I did use some alcohol, but it started getting windy, so it was sticking to the project. I ended up taking this whole shenanigans and shenanigans. I was trying to say shenanigans and shebang inside so I could get this project completed and not have all the frustration of the wind and the rain working against me. But look at all the great texture that is on the bulb part of the glass, and you're going to see at the end. You can also skip forward if my talking is annoying you. I know some people don't like talking in the video, then some people don't like muted videos. It's just so hard to keep up. So if you're a muter, go ahead and mute me out. If you're a talking fan, go ahead and keep listening all the way through the video. Either way, I'm excited that you all are here, and God bless you, because you could be doing anything else. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for subscribing and all that jazz. I'm very grateful. So anywho, I'm gonna keep on going. I'm not gonna talk during this part, but you'll be able to see the process. You all have got to make these. They're gorgeous, and I'm gonna of course sell these. I don't know if I told you guys or not. I think I forgot to share those videos and So you're gonna do all of them the same way. Oops, that's where the phone fell. And I think it fell twice. I was like, what in the world? And my hand still had caulking on it, so I was having a challenge picking it up. So now at this point it's getting windy and the caulk is starting to stick to the tube. The tube is starting to stick to, and the glass is starting to stick to the napkin. But I did squeeze it out of the tube. You're gonna notice that the consistency between the caulking material in the tub and the material in the tube are different, because one I believe is a flooring material and the other one is an actual like joint compound. So their consistency in terms of the texture that you're going to get are going to be different. So what I'm doing with the white side is just making sure that I don't smooth it out as much, because I want the texture to match. So you'll be a little bit lighter when you're lighter handed when you're smoothing out the white than you will from the pink in the tub. Again, the phone dropped, but you know, I'm still having a good time. It was so therapeutic making such a mess that comes out so gorgeous, in my opinion only. So here I am finishing these up. They dry very quickly. Now I do let them dry for 24 hours. You're gonna notice that they start to dry within a few hours, but they'll still be kind of not tacky but soft. So you'll know that it's not all the way dry when you go to touch it and the compound still feels soft. And then also, once the ones that are pink turn white, they're starting to dry. So you'll notice that that's an indicator as well. So here they are. I brought them inside to dry and I let them just sit there overnight. Now what I'm doing is turning them around and see how there's some sparse spots where you can still see glass, and then somehow I made a mistake on that one. I think I must have poked something in it. I went on and covered them up again. I let them dry completely overnight, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet my brush, because the paint I'm getting ready to use that I'll show you in a second is a mineral paint. So I'm just showing you again the caulk that I used, so you can take a screenshot and go get it from Dollar Tree or $1.25 Tree. I don't think the name's changed, but it's $1.25. And then the paint that I'm going to be using, you can't add water to it. So I read somewhere it's Silk is the brand paint. Someone said to wet your brush. I'm not sure this is the best brush to use, only because it was super fluffy. The other thing I didn't think was so great was my initial goal was to make these a cream color, along with like I was just going to leave them white or cream. But then when I painted it, it looked the same as it did with the caulking material. So I'm like, well, that's not going to work. So you'll see later on when I decide to paint them after the paint dries, that I go in a completely different direction. Looking like after they dried, which They're dry. Look at the pretty texture that they have. And so now you just have to decide what color you're gonna paint them. My husband thought they looked really pretty, this cream color, and because cream and beige is a thing in home decor, we're gonna leave them like that. And then what we'll do is the taller ones, which I haven't done yet, is we'll paint those a different color. But these are two new paint colors I picked up today. This is called Everglades and it's by Silk. And what I love about these paints, in addition to the Liquitex paints, is that they have your built-in primer and built-in top coat, so you don't have to follow up with anything else because everything you need is in here. Now everyone is not a fan of green, right? So that's why I'm not going to use that color. And then this is one of my favorite colors. I love everything ocean blue, anything that relates to the water. So this is called Tide Pool, and this one is really, really pretty. So I do love the oceanic blue color as well, which would be great for the summer. So what we could do is you could paint them in an ombre pattern for the summer. 4th of July is coming up if you want to do like a red, white, and blue theme. For our new antique booth, for those of you that haven't seen it, I don't think I posted a lot on here, but Miriam has an antique booth. It's called Miriam Co Vintage because we hadn't come up with another name yet. And so we've started putting some of our home decor in there, but I've already decorated for 4th of July. I just put some splashes of 4th of July. So we're gonna actually paint these with this color called Endless Shore. Now you don't add water to this, and this paint is really, really thick. So it can either be the Endless Shore color, or this one's more of a off-white, and it's called Salt Water. So I may go with that one because that other one's more of a beige. So we're gonna go with Salt Water, but what you can do, I saw online, is you can mist your brush. So I'm gonna mist the brush that we're gonna use, and I was cleaning up my art supplies and found this cute fluffy fuzzy brush. I don't even know where I got this from. I guess from Michael's. It's called a mop brush. So I'm just trying to see, I may use it for that only because, oh look, some stuff's coming off, so that's good to do that. So you can use this as like a vase. I think it would be a gorgeous vase. You could use it for candles. You could do the little candle votives. You could sit them down in here. You could do the candles that are already pre-lit. That would be pretty. You know what I mean? Like the ones that they're battery operated. Those would be really pretty in here because then you don't have to worry about messing it up. Or you could pour candle wax into here and make it a really beautiful textured candle. The sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want. So I'm gonna go shake this up just a smidge bit. I'm gonna stir it up with a craft stick, and then we're gonna get started painting it. Okay, you guys, so let's sit you up a smidge bit. Hold on. So obviously I decided I did not like the cream color. I was like, oh no ma'am, that's not gonna work. So then I was gonna do shades of blue, but you'll see as we go along, my brain started saying, well no, I want shades of blue and shades of brown, and let's keep going. And so you're gonna see how it turned out. I think it's so gorgeous. Now I am thinking about going in and adding some white or cream back to it, but you're gonna see how I also finished them and I styled them. I have not sprayed the matte or gloss finish because I haven't decided yet if I want a matte or gloss finish, but if you get a chance to skip forward to the end, you'll see how they turned out. And then I staged them with beads I already had. I have a Butler's Paintry in my home, and so we have a little vignette set up in there because I use it for staging antiques and vintage items for our mall booth. So that's what I did when I get to the end here. Now I'm using, and I think I already said this, but I'm using what kind of paints are those? Liquitex along with the silk paints.
Because the room was that small. Was the people on the sidewalk such their guns? Was the hand in the pockets? Was it? Oh, was it?
I love how they turned out. Oh my gosh, I think they are so gorgeous. And they're going to be even more beautiful. You could use them for flowers. You could use them for candles. Or you could just use them plain like this. You could do twigs. The sky's the limit. You decide. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel. God bless you guys.